everybody. Today your lesson is going to be over writing a system of equations. This is our first lesson with system of equations. And so let's find out what they're all about. Here's my first example. It says, at the Texas Rangers game, Ben saw that hot dogs were $2 each and soft drinks were $1.50 each. When his dad returned from the concession stand, he had bought 18 items and paid $31. Holy cow, I hope he has a whole crew of people with him because that's a lot of items. So, as I read through this, I noticed that his dad brought back hot dogs that were $2 and he brought back soft drinks. Okay, we want to know how many of each item did he bring back. So when I think about that, I see that I have two variables there. I have hot dogs and I have soft drinks. So in the past, we only know how to solve an equation when we have one thing that's missing, one unknown. Now I have two things that are unknown. I don't know how many hot dogs he bought, and I don't know how many soft drinks he bought. So I'm going to write those two things down because those are my two variables. That's what I don't know. And I'm going to assign a letter to each one of those, a variable. I'm going to let H stand for hot dogs and S stand for soft drinks. So that's your first step, to write down what your unknowns are and what variable you're going to assign to each. Okay, so I know that hot dogs cost $2 each and soft drinks were $1.50. Well, so that's talking about money. How much money did his dad spend? His dad spent $31. So I'm going to write one equation that just solely talks about money. I think you guys could do it. It's $2 for every hot dog, plus it's $1.50 for every soft drink, and that total amount was $31. Does that make sense to you guys? This is my equation about money. Now I'm going to have another equation that talks about the items, because this is an important piece of information that I have to include. How many items he bought. They didn't tell us that for nothing. That's important. We need to know that they bought a total of 18. So I know that in my second equation I have equals 18. Well, what were those items? Those items consisted of hot dogs and soft drinks. So I'm going to write an equation that says I know I have some amount of hot dogs, H, plus some amount of soft drinks. I don't know exactly the number yet, but that together totaled was 18. So this is my system of equations, two unknowns. And later this week, we're going to learn how to solve this equation so I could find out exactly how many hot dogs and soft drinks he bought. And here's Coach Wallace for the next example.
Okay, guys, Charlie had some nickels and dimes. He counted 12 coins and had just enough to buy a drink for $1.05. Write a system of equations you could use to find out how many dimes and how many nickels he has. Well, things that are important here that I see that he has 12 coins. I see that he has $1.05, and I know that he has nickels and dimes. Well, you may be thinking, well, we don't have enough information. Well, actually we do, because there's something special about nickels and dimes that we know. So we know we have nickels, and we know we have dimes. And I'm going to make this really easy. I'm going to say, hey, for nickels, we're going to use lowercase n. And for dimes, I'm going to make my variable lowercase d. So I know that he has nickels and dimes, and I know that he has a total of 12 coins. So I'm going to go ahead and write that first equation because that one's easy. He's got nickels, and so plus dimes, and I know that he has a total of 12 coins. Now I'm looking and I see that he has an amount right here. Well, the funny thing about nickels and dimes is that each one has a certain amount of worth. So we know that nickels are worth how much? Yes, nickels are worth 5 cents. And dimes are worth how much? 10 cents. So these are the things that I know about nickels and dimes. I also know that he had a total of $1.05. So he had some amount of nickels. They're worth 5 cents each. And plus some amount of dimes. They're worth 10 cents each. And that totals $1.05. So here is my system of equations. N plus D is equal to 12, and 5 cents times the number of nickels plus 10 cents times the number of dimes equals $1.05. We can solve that and figure out how much of each coin he had. So tomorrow in class, you are going to write a system of equations. For example, 3. I'll read it out loud to you. The student council sold coffee mugs for $5 and keychains for $2. So I see my two variables already. Each student council member was required to sell a total of 20 items. Oh, there's some important information. Lainey collected $76 for 20 items, but lost the envelope showing how many of each item she sold. Write a system of equations to determine how many mugs and keychains she sold. All right, good luck. Bring that to class tomorrow.